Ciao, Aramantita liberi, and welcome back. Today, I'm going to be talking about the 9 books I gave 5 stars in 2023. I read 32 books this year as a first-time reader. Well, not first-time reader, I obviously read prior to this. I started reading again properly back in February, and along with work, uni, Valorant competitive, I didn't read as much as I probably could have, but 32 is no small feat. But only 9 of them were 5-star. I had a lot of 4 and 3s because I'm generous. The 5-star books are the ones that made me feel like my heart was breaking, my heart was healing. I was laughing, I cried, what do I want to say? It was like I was watching a movie when I was reading, and I still think about most of these books all of the time. That is the impact that they have had on me. But some of these 5 stars, I don't really think about that much, but I know that if I was to reread them, I'd still have the same feelings. So we'll start with some of those ones. So we have Crown of Midnight from Throne of Glass. This was the series that got me back into reading because I had owned Throne of Glass, Crown of Midnight, and Heir of Fire before I started reading. A girl that I don't talk to anymore persuaded me to buy them when I was in primary school, and I bought them, and then after I moved house a couple times they just kept following me, and so I went, fuck it, I'm gonna read them. And it started this. Crown of Midnight is the second book in the series, and it is the one that I was most in depth with. I was well-winded. I was feeling everything Selena, the main character, the main protagonist. I was experiencing everything she was experiencing. I was shocked, I was angry, I was pissed off, I was sad. I thoroughly enjoyed the book. In this book, it's where like the love triangle kind of comes to a head, which I didn't really like that much, but I could excuse it because I liked everything else. Next, we're just gonna stay with some Sarah J Maas for a bit. We have A Court of Wings and Ruin. That is my favorite book of ACOTAR. I don't know what it is, maybe it's the war, maybe it's the complete development of Feyre. Like, first book you kind of get to know her, second book everything just gets flipped on its head and I was like, what the fuck? And then third book she just kind of comes into her own, and it's like found family, the continuation of found family, because found family is kind of in the second book, so it's the continuation of trying to fit in, and she's integrating with her sisters again, and it's just like you feel happy for her. And then they go into a war and you're like, oh, but then, you know, all that stuff happens with Hybern and Nesta and Elaine, Feyre's sisters. They come too. There's some development for them, which I enjoyed. Bat Boys, I enjoyed their development more. And there's a lot of just rekindling relationships that were in the first novel. I just like that it kind of just ties it up into a neat little bow. That's what I liked. We then also have Crescent City. That book, the first maybe 200 pages, I was sitting there blank-faced like, what the fuck am I reading? This doesn't make any sense to me at all. And then by the end of the book I sobbed. I actually just started fucking sobbing. My boyfriend was like, are you okay? And I was like, yeah, like, it was bad. It was a bad one. Like, not like it was a bad book, but like I had a bad, I was involved. I was there. My heart broke. I laughed. Again, it's all those feelings of a 5-star book. Do I wish it was a shorter book? Absolutely. It gave me the feeling. I still think about the bit that I cried about quite frequently. That's all of this Sarah J Maas. We'll now go to my favorite books of all time. If you don't know me and you don't watch my shorts or my TikToks or even just talk to me, Legendborn and Bloodmarked have a special place in my heart. They are on display. The first book, the second book, perfection. There is nothing I can say that is wrong about that book, those books. Nothing. It is a a fantasy retelling of King Arthur and the Round Table, where they have to fight demons in America, specifically California, and basically these portals open and demons come out, and the Round Table have magical powers to fight these demons, and then the eldest, or one child from each of family from the bloodline, will inherit these powers and come to continue fighting the demons. So you got Arthur, Lancelot, Merlin, yeah, those are the ones I got off the top of my head. But all of their descendants have these powers to fight these demons, and they go through these trials. It's a secret society. It is just perfect. It is just the perfect. Our main character Bree has like a self conflict because she goes into the secret society, and it's just a whole thing about her self-development and coming to and realizing who she is, and it also involves coming to terms with grief. So it's a hard topic, but then it's very whimsical, magical, love triangle, morally grey Merlin descendant, golden retriever Arthur descendant. Please read it. Honestly, I cannot stress enough how good these books are. My favorites of all time. Next we have A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. I read this after I read Throne of Glass. Yeah, I only read the first three of Throne of Glass, by the way. I didn't finish it. Different story. I was highlighting, I was tabbing, I was clear sticky note annotating. I was solving it with her. I love crime books because I want to figure it out too. So I highlight, I go back, I'm like, oh yeah, this happened. Okay, so it's this person, and then this is this person, and then this person said this, and this person did that, so I think it's this person. I just like doing it. I think I'm a psycho, but that's what A Good Girl's Guide to Murder is. If you've been living under a rock, it's a girl is given an assignment for her English, like, ATAR exam. ATAR isn't a British thing, that's an Australian thing, but it's the same concept. And she's trying to resolve a case that happened in her small town about a murder of a schoolgirl and then the death of a schoolboy. So she's reopening it, she's reinterrogating everyone to find out what truly happened, because she doesn't think what the news and the police had told everyone actually was true. There's again heavy topics like murder, racism, sexism, exploitation, drugs. So there's a bit going on there. We also have The Hawthorne Legacy, which is the second book in the Inheritance Games trilogy. I loved it. I really enjoyed the Inheritance Games trilogy, but the second one, it took everything from the first one and just kind of re-encapsulated that feeling of, oh my god, what the fuck? My jaw was on the ground constantly because there was twists and turns that I wasn't seeing coming, and I'm pretty good at seeing things come. I'm pretty good at seeing plot twists before they happen, but for this book, I don't know what was in it that made me just oblivious to everything, but every time something happened, my jaw was basically on the floor. Then we have the historical romantasy of my dreams, Divine Rivals. There are parts in that book that aren't great. Like the world building, you know, I was a little bit confused at certain points. I was like, what the fuck? The gods? But once I got in, I can excuse that because every other part of it is literally perfect, and I had such a great time reading it, and I loved Roman and Iris, and I loved how they developed from rivals to lovers, and I just love it. And I am anxiously waiting for Ruthless Vows to come out. The last book that I rated 5 stars this year was, of course, Fourth Wing. Again, there are parts of that book that are not great, but I can excuse it because I was like, ha 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 ha, Zayden Ryerson, oh my god, dragons! Men with tattoos and dark hair? Don't even get me started. I cried again. I cried again reading Fourth Wing. I actually cried. I giggled. There was leg kicking. It was a good time. I had a great time reading that book. Again, it's not a perfect book by any means, but I enjoyed it. I had a little fun time reading it. I ate it up. I don't think I need to explain what Fourth Wing is. Most of these books are books that are very like book talk heavy. Besides Legendborn, no one fucking talks about it. Seriously. It is a masterpiece. It should be framed and put in a museum. So my 5 stars are very high standard. I need to cry, scream, giggle, kick my feet, or have my heart broken, be shocked, the fuck, and think about it constantly for it to be a 5 stars. Because I go back and I alter my ratings. If I forget something, if I go into my Goodreads and I'm like, why the fuck did I give this such a high rating? I will not knock it down a bit. It will go down. So I'm like, I don't even remember half of this book, and it will go down. So I'm pretty picky. That's it though. I hope this year everyone had some really good 5-star reads, because I know that I did. Thoroughly enjoyed Legendborn and Bloodmarked. If I could give those 2 books 10 out of 10 stars, I probably could. And I would. I hope that everyone had a good reading year this year, and that next year is the same. So with that, I shall say arrivederci.